All right, let's pull back the curtain on this. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive, looking into your sources about, well, why the figure your texts call the second God becomes human and bears the cross. It's a huge question.
It really is. And this isn't just, a story. It's presented as a theological blueprint in these texts. We're going to try and unravel the intricate reasons why, connecting the dots from your material to give you some core insights into this really pivotal act.
Okay, so where do we start? What's the first layer here?
Well, the sources reveal something crucial right off the bat.
Yeah.
This whole thing wasn't just a reaction like after Adam fell.
Ah, right.
Instead, the idea is God knew about Adam's fall even before creation. So the completion of creation was actually planned to happen through Adam's atonement. It was sort of baked in from the start.
That's a really powerful idea, a kind of profound foresight. And the sources make a specific point, don't they? Why Adam, why humanity specifically, not, say, an angel intervening.
Exactly. That's key. The second God becomes Adam, becomes human, specifically to redeem humanity. It has to be like for like, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And this act, it directly fulfills what your sources call the image of God, but not just as a starting point, more like a final destination.
Okay, explain that a bit more. The destination.
Yeah, like a creature perfected in free will, totally loving God, loving neighbor, and this is crucial, without even the possibility of sinning anymore. So the second God becomes this perfect Adam.
Well,
to take on the first Adam's sin, free humanity, restore the lost land, and also set the ultimate example for overcoming death itself. It's about a complete recreation, really, perfecting what it means to be human.
okay, so that's the atonement piece. But building on that, your sources also talk about demonstrating truth, right, within that human experience.
Yes, exactly. He didn't just fix the problem from afar. He enters what the texts call a cursed body, a human body, subject to all its limitations and struggles.
Yeah.
And in that body, he perfectly fulfills the commandments himself to prove they're true, that they can be lived out. It's not just theoretical.
And this is where the last Adam idea comes in.
Precisely. As the last Adam, he keeps the commandments through his own righteousness with the Holy Spirit right from the start. And this is what allows the first Adam, that's humanity, to be forgiven and reborn through him.
So it's a transformation.
A complete transformation from what the sources call a form of a beast back to the intended image of God, finally overcoming sin and death. It's like a total spiritual overhaul.
It's almost like the sources paint a picture of that unconsumed burning bush. Pure divinity living out perfect obedience and love right in the middle of human trials, but without being, well, consumed by it all.
That's a great analogy. He walks through it all. And this demonstration, this obedience, it leads to another really radical insight in your sources. It contrasts true divinity with, well, false ambition.
How so?
Well, think about Halal, the figure your sources mention, who fell through self-exaltation, wanting to be like God in the wrong way.
Okay, yeah.
The second God, even though he is creator, does the opposite. He humbles himself, becomes a creature, and obeys the first God completely, even to death.
That really makes you stop and think about what power actually means, doesn't it? Your sources seem to argue it's not about dominance, but about humble service, loving your neighbor.
Exactly. It's presented as a cosmic redefinition. True authority, true exaltation, even inheriting space-time, as the text put it, comes from that humble obedience and love, not trying to grab power for yourself.
Inheriting space-time, that sounds pretty significant.
It signifies a complete restoration of dominion, basically, receiving all creaturely obedience because of that perfect humility.
So, okay, we have the atonement, the perfect example, the humility. How does this then translate into a direct path to salvation for Adam, for us?
Well, his life is the path. By bearing the cross, and also by spitting out the forbidden fruit, rejecting the temptation that caused the fall, he shows the way.
He models it.
He models it, yes. And these actions enable anyone who repents and obeys him to escape what the sources call the fiery pit. His life and death become the blueprint for escaping that judgment and finding spiritual rebirth.
And this path is opened by the veil of his blood, allowing access to the Holy Spirit.
That's the imagery used, yes. A reestablished connection, direct access, which was broken by the fall.
Okay, but that brings up a tough question. Why allow himself to actually be killed by a creature? What's the purpose there, according to the sources?
It's presented as an exposure, a dramatic unveiling. By allowing a creature driven by Satan's influence to kill him, it starkly exposes Satan's true wickedness.
You mean his willingness to kill even God?
Exactly. All out of self-interest. It puts it on full display. And the contrast is
The
deliberate.
contrast with...
With God's love, God dying for sinful Adam while Satan is willing to kill God for himself. It reveals the destructive reality of Satan's way, the misery that follows when commandments are broken. It's like pulling back the final veil on evil.
And that act confirms Satan's judgment then.
It solidifies it, yes. Seals his fate, according to these texts.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, listening? The second God's journey as human, as presented in these sources, it's incredibly layered. It covers atonement, demonstrating divine truth, showing ultimate humility, creating a path to salvation, and finally exposing evil.
It really ties everything together. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Consider what it means for you to understand this concept. That the ultimate goal of creation, according to these texts, is for creatures to become godlike in the sense of being perfected in free will and love. What does that ultimate purpose imply?